Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pula and here's what we have in the bulletin.
Tropical storm watch remains in effect for Jamaica. Local government minister reassures Jamaicans preparations underway for approaching tropical storm. And later in sports, JOA president pleased with Jamaica's Women's World Cup bid.
Here are the details. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for Jamaica. This as Tropical Storm Melissa continues to approach the island. Head of the Met Service, Evan Thompson, provided an update during a special press briefing a short while ago at Jamaica House.
The system is moving toward the west generally, and it is also expected to continue this motion for some while longer before taking more of a turn toward the west-northwest and then to the northwest. So it's making a slight curve, expected to move closer and closer to the island of Jamaica over the next few days. The system is moving quite slowly at this time. Initially, it was moving at relatively normal speed in the Caribbean, but it has slowed down significantly, and this is what was projected by the models. However, there had been quite a bit of disparity with respect to the various models that people have been looking at in terms of what the projected track of the system would have been. The latest, though, is that the consensus model is indicating that the system will continue to move closer to Jamaica, and then it will more or less move toward the west, some distance away from the southern coastline.
Meanwhile, Mr. Thompson noted that certain factors have caused the storm to slow down. Mr. Thompson says it is still expected to strengthen into a hurricane later.
This is likely to occur sometime by Friday as we go into the weekend. Now, the system will begin most likely to impact Jamaica as early as Thursday, which is tomorrow. We should be getting rainfall from the system at that time. We continue to have the country under a tropical storm watch. That is what is there now. It's not a warning, but a watch. And that means that tropical storm conditions are possible within 48 hours. So as the system continues to move closer to us, we do expect that gradually we will start to see the increase in rainfall occurring on Thursday. Late on Thursday, there is the possibility of sections of the country, primarily the area closest to the center of the system, starting to be impacted by some tropical storm conditions. That is what is expected.
Local government minister Desmond McKenzie is assuring Jamaicans that everything is in place as emergency services shift into response mode.
I want to say that our shelters, the 800 and odd shelters, have been inspected. Our shelter supervisors, managers, and volunteers are on standby. We have pre-positioned relief supplies in various sections of the island. We are also putting emergency equipments and teams in areas that we know are challenging areas. We do have a list of the areas that we need to pay attention to. There are some particular communities in Jamaica that we are concerned about. Those communities know themselves, but I just want to mention a few. Rocky Point in Clarendon is one area. Taylorland in the eastern part of the island is another. We have the Duane Park area, New Haven, and several other communities, the Burger Gully.
And Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says schools should begin preparing now for a shift to online learning.
As many of you know, many of our schools are used as designated shelters. 780 schools across Jamaica are among the 881 that Mr. Thompson spoke about earlier. And so our schools are definitely going to be mobilized in particular areas, we believe. And so in terms of schools, what we are saying to our schools at this point is that they need to make preparations to potentially go online. And so you need to get ready with Google Classroom. And we understand also that not every community has internet, has access in that way. And that's really why for us in the ministry, we really don't like closing schools, because some students are really very disadvantaged. But the safety of everybody and all our students and our teachers is of utmost importance. And so as we're preparing for this storm, we need to prepare for everyone. Some of our students will not be able to have internet, and so we say to our schools, prepare the worksheets for those children so they can take it home.
To other news now, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton on Monday officially opened the newly refurbished Islington Community Health Centre in St. Mary. The project forms part of the government's efforts to strengthen community development and wellness across the island. Karen Simpson reports.
The last 5 years has seen more health centers being renovated, built and improved upon than any other time in the nation's history. That's according to Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton. The Islington Community Centre is among nearly 140 centers being restored by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
It's being done with a lot of deliberateness, with a lot of effort, with a lot of partnership, region, NHF, government, central ministry and otherwise, members of parliament, to ensure that citizens in their communities have access to quality health care within an environment where they can be comfortable, where they can get the basic, important preventative advice and support, some curative advice and support, and therefore feel a sense of confidence and comfort within their community.
Dr. Tufton said the ministry is gradually restoring credibility in health centers.
More people are seeing a facility like this upgraded, and you'll go in and see the facilities with more service, and are saying, listen, let me go to the health center first before we go down to the hospital. And that is exactly what we want. So it is a policy success to date.
The government plans to upgrade and renovate all primary health facilities across the island over the next 4 to 5 years.
We have done 140 already. We have 325. You do the math. Take away 140 from 325. We are going to refresh every single primary healthcare institution in this country because the people in the communities deserve it. And that's where health is perhaps most important. That's the core of prevention.
Carrie Simpson, TVJ News.
Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Rosemary Shaw, is questioning the reason behind the selection of the new Para roadway for rehabilitation under the Spark program. She questions whether proper consultation was done before the road was selected. She is calling for an investigation into the matter.
And I think that priority should have been given to a road such as Rowlandsfield Road or Hayfield Road. And there are many, many other roads that this Spark program could have been better utilized.
In the meantime, Communications Manager at the NWC, Stephen Shaw, told TVJ News that pipeline works are currently underway along the roadway.
Because if consultation was taking place with community members and stakeholders, I am sure that this road would not have been a priority for this amount of money. I understand that it's about $60 million worth of taxpayers' money that is being spent on this road.
As Jamaica observes Heritage Week, the Baptist Church is reminding Jamaicans of their role in the struggle for freedom and nation building. Reverend Paul Pinto of the St. Stephen United Church in Kingston issued the reminder during the Mandeville Baptist Church's 185th anniversary Thanksgiving service last week.
Providing lands for them, in providing jobs for them, in helping the struggle through apprenticeship, establishing free villages. I want you to applaud the work of the Baptist Church.
Meanwhile, chair of the Baptist World Alliance, Reverend Carl Johnson, declared that the church will not be silent or confined, even in a world crowded with voices demanding attention. The clergyman also added his voice to the geopolitical issues in the Caribbean, describing the region as a place in turmoil.
We are forgetting that we are from a particular heritage. We know what we are going through, and we say as a certain song that notwithstanding the pain, notwithstanding the brutality, notwithstanding the suffering, we can declare they can take away everything, but they can't take away my freedoms.
It's time for a break. Stay with us for stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The government of Jamaica says it generated $448.8 billion in tax revenues and grants during the period April to August of this fiscal year. It says this sum was 1.3% more than the $442.8 billion it budgeted for. Tax revenues were running $356 billion, or 2.2% more than programmed for. However, despite this higher than programmed revenue collections, it spent only $466 billion, 2.9% less than the sum projected. The $21 billion capital budget was underutilized by 19%. The fiscal deficit, which measures the difference between what the government collects in revenues and grants and what it spends, was $70.8 billion when it should have been $37.6 billion. Now, further afield, the government shutdown is taking a toll on federal workers in the U.S. On Tuesday, a food bank in Hyattsville, Maryland, outside of Washington, D.C., held an event for federal workers. The Capital Area Food Bank said it served more than 370 households, more than double the number of federal workers it was expecting. The shutdown is now in its third week with no end in sight. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Nikinsky Robinson.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's health report. In this evening's health report, we look at breast cancer.
Well, breast cancer is actually a group of diseases. We used to think of it as a single disease, but now we understand it to be a group of diseases where cells within the breast become abnormal, they grow in an uncontrolled manner, and very importantly, they develop the ability to invade nearby structures and also to spread to distant organs. So, for example, they can spread from the breast to the bone, to the liver, to the lung, to the brain.
That's the health report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's Health Living tip. Get regular screenings. Perform breast self-exams. Be aware of symptoms and limit hormone therapy. It's now time for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Guyana government is exploring new ways to tackle domestic violence, including the use of ankle monitoring devices to track offenders. Home Affairs Minister Onej Walren says the move aims to boost safety and accountability, allowing authorities to get real-time alerts if an offender nears a victim. She adds that the Safe City initiative, which uses facial recognition and vehicle tracking, has already improved police response times. And on the international scene, Russia launched a massive air attack on Ukraine early Wednesday, killing at least 6 people, including a 6-month-old baby. The strikes, involving drones, missiles, and fighter jets, hit several regions, including Kyiv, and caused widespread power outages and fires. The attack comes amid confusion over a possible Putin-Trump summit. CNN reports there are no immediate plans for the meeting, though President Trump recently claimed it could happen within 2 weeks in Hungary. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aliyah Bryant.
Thank you, Aliyah. We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.